Hi. Hi, Anjali. We'll just wait for a few minutes for people to join in. And then we will start our session. Just wait for another 1 more minute for people to join in. Hope you guys had a great week. Hi, Sunita. Okay, as people join in, just let's a small introduction to the tools if people are joining in new to my session. I'm Maya. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. During this session, we're going to use a few tools, which is this is Zentangle branded tile, which is a 3.5 inch square tile, which is from the Zentangle. And currently today I'm going to use Micron PN pen. I'm going to use my stub, which is and a graphite Zentangle graphite pencil. These two are finally is the last tool what I would be using in. These are primarily used to give a nice effect to your art form right in the end, to give a magic. The Zentangle is known for magic in the end, so these two will create magic in the end by giving depth to our artwork. If you're not comfortable with shading, you can leave it. The shading just gives a depth and a magic touch to the Zentangle art form. Today I'm using a black Sakura Micron pen, a PN pen. I might use another color pen. It just as the flow happens, I might take up a darker color pen, either a maroon or a brown or a purple. It depends on my mood as we go in towards it. This is something just to tell that a copyright message that the session is just being taken, is I'm authorized to take this session, and the purpose of this session is for you to view and enjoy it, create your artwork, and it ends with it. No commercial use of the session which I am taking in. And since I'm the certified Zentangle teacher, and Zentangle art form is a copyright and a trademark of Maria and Rick, who are the creator of this art form. This art form was created sometime early 2000. So that's a small just to the art form. So, and I'm grateful for all you people who are joining in. So as we start the session, just let's take a mindful uh, to start the mindful session. Let's take our mind away from everything and just close our eyes and take conscious deep breath and just relax yourself. We will take a count of 6 to 10 count of deep breaths, and then you can slowly open your eyes, and during the course of your count of your deep breath, give a gratitude to whomever you want to give at this particular hour. And That's it, and then we can start our fun session. You can slowly open your eyes. We do that. I do that very often when I'm doing it. It's just that we've been occupied with a lot of things, and a lot of things which might be occupying our mind and everything. So just that kind of note that the few seconds of deep breath and closing your eyes kind of really calms you off, and you're good to start. So that's how it is. So just keeps the monkey away. I keep telling my students, so if you want to keep the monkey away, just take a make yourself conscious, and then you start doing your Zentangle art form, and invariably, variably, definitely and guaranteed in all possible words in the dictionary, Zentangle will keep the monkeys away from your brain. Okay, so today we're going to do I'm going to do two patterns. This is something called MI2 is a pattern which is by Mimi Lempart CZT. She's also a certified Zentangle teacher. So it's by the Mimi. The other pattern what I'm going to do is a Kiko. This is from the Zentangle headquarters. Both these patterns I'm not going to use what is the original. I'm going to do a variation on it. And what variation which I'm going to use today was used by Maria. I love that. But I'm going to do a little twist to that. So little twist to that I'm going to do it, and then that's the MI2. And ZHQ what I'm going to use is a Kiko. So what I will do is, Kiko is very easy, so I'm just going to demonstrate the Kiko part of it first, and then we will go to the MI2 part. So the Kiko works like this. So what it's going to be, I don't know, my doggy always decides when I start a session, he decides to have a walk and sniff through all the items which I have. So just give me a minute to calm him out. Okay, so it's nothing very simple. So I'm just going to draw a small square, and I'm just going to divide it. It's not going to be uniform. It can be anything, how you feel comfortable. It can be a little curvy, not a problem. But what I'm going to show you is that two different ways of doing it. It can be equal numbers, or the grids can be equal numbers or not an equal number. That's not a problem. And the lines which is going to be, so the Kiko is primarily composed this. So it is basically composed of these lines. Now the way you put a straight line or a bumpy line, it is where it will decide how the shape of the artwork will be. So now I'm going to do this. So obviously your curve has to be this. This is going to be this way. So the more you do a curvy, then your grid automatically has to become little curvy. So that's why we always suggest that the grid strings are always drawn in pencil. So then you can maneuver over it. So now we go straight, standing, sleeping, standing, sleeping. Now we go again here. Okay, now I've done this as a curvy and this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw straight to show how a difference can be done by just a stroke, just by the stroke of our Not that it is wrong, not that it is correct, it is just gives you a different result. What happens is that when you do a shading, this bumpy one will give you a different look. So I'm just going to show, I'm just going to do it in the edges, I'm just going to do a pull a little of graphite, and I'm just going to demonstrate it. Can you see? The same thing, I'm going to leave the center, this middle line, and I'm just going to go here. So I'm just going to do this part. You could see that. So you could see that this is, see these two things, though they are little angle difference, but you don't have much of differences, but you can just feel that this looks a little lifted up, this looks very little flat. So right, so we are good to go with this. Hi Dinah, hi Maria. So we're good to go with it. Hi Elki. So this pattern, are we fine? It's very simple. Just saw that you can make more fun, right? So I'm just going to show you, you can make more fun by just drawing. If you draw uniform, now it's 3, so we just could do this. Now this is 4, then you could just do an alternate one. So then if you do an equal 4, then mix. Right? You want to do this, you can do this also here. Right? So you can create a lot more, or just if you just done a 3, the center line can be just darkened out. So how much ever you want to create drama, you could go about doing the drama on that part. That's the thing on it. So now what is this? Okay, now the Mi2 is very simple. It's basically is into dots. It's like a curved rice pearl. Okay, oval kind of a thing, and what happens is this is joined in and this is joined down, from up, from down, and from up, right? So now we can have this is in this direction, right? So this will go in the, so it's going in an angle situation. So now this is the, now you can play around more on this. So this is the primary pattern, but I'm not going to use this pattern completely. You can keep doing it. So this is this way. So this is again goes like this. So this way. So this will be obviously the opposite direction, downward direction. I'm just going to show you, demonstrate it. This way, this way, this way, and in this way, and in this way, and in this way. So you keep just putting the what do you call, the positioning of the dots, you keep changing it. So that's the only thing. Orientation, you just need to change the orientation left and right, and then that's where, so this is where it is. So What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this particular pattern alone. This particular thing alone I'm going to use. So which is in my tile, if it is going to be spaced out, I'm going to do a spaced out. So if there may be more, so depending on what. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do aura. So aura is just basically drawing a line in parallel to your original pattern. Now I'm again going to do another aura. Hello Black Freedom. So I'm just going to do an aura of it. Now here one more thing is that you will, depending on what my pattern, your number of aura has to be, I'm going to be sticking to it. So I'm going to do one more aura. So I'm going to work on one more aura here. Right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the last aura and I'm going to just draw small circles in it. The pattern out here may not look good because my pen is really got a thick nib for my demonstration, so I'm putting as much of light pressure on it to get a fine line, but that's it. So I'm going to do the variation on this, and this is going to get inked up. This rice, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little more thicker line, which is like your aura, just to give a thicker. Right, so that's all is what I'm going to do it out here, and I'm going to use my shading out here and here, and a little out here and a here. So that's how it's going to be. So is this step out is clear? I just did a very small variation onto what it is. If I get one more aura when I'm doing it on my tile, I would use one more line, one particular parallel line. I might be doing a little more inking on it to give a little different effect. So that depends on how the flow happens on the tile and how I place these rice pearls orientation and the distance. We will see about it, but primarily we will work on these. So is this clear for everyone, so that we could get into the main tile? Are we good? You good? Are we good? So I'm just going to do this, so which is basically I'm just going to change the orientation, and I'm just going to do aura. this is a quick demo, not the way the final will look. So we're just going to do that. Right? Are we good? If I can get a thumbs up to get into the tile. So we're using two patterns. One is an MI2 by one of the Mimi CST, who is a certified Zentangle teacher, and a Kiko, which is from the Zentangle headquarters. So we're using two patterns today, MI2 and this. I'm not using the original MI2. I'm just doing a little variation, which I loved because both Rick and Maria has done in two different demo and created amazing ones. So that was there in my mind. So I just picked it up. And I did a little differences to it, and right. So can I get a thumbs up? So I think we're good to go to the main. So what I'm going to do is, like always, we just start with dots on the four corners. Okay. The reason I'm trying to use a bigger pencil just to give give you a tip. So when you use this becomes easy when you're trying to give a shading and a different depth, but when you try using this, it becomes a real different challenge. So that's why Zentangle has a smaller pencil, which makes more comfortable for you to place it around and play around. Okay, so my dots are being too far off, so I'm trying to, towards the end, so I'm trying to bring it a little closer. So I'm just giving a small, people keep asking straight, I don't get a straight line. That's fine. That's it. So I've done this, right? So I may do the aura in the end. So now what I'm going to use, in an angle, I'm going to do the MI2 thing, and the background I'm going to do the Kiko. So if I'm going to do it here, so I'm just going to orientate these pearls. So I'm just doing a rough placement. I may not use this. That's just a reference for me. Get a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm trying to get a 4 so that I get a little more broader space. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join these, and I'm going to join this. I'm going to join from here to here, and this I'm just going to have one more. So this is going to be here, right? So this is what we're going to do. Then I'm going to ink this up. If you're not getting these kind of a placement, that's fine. How you get it, it's okay. If you're getting a different shape, not a problem. This is just a reference. This is just a reference to create it. So this is kind of a kind of a starting point. and then you do the way you want to do it, and you do it, the results are going to be different. And that's why your art and my art, though using the same patterns, can look different, is because the way we orient it, the way we do it, the work, that's where it is going to be. So now what I'm going to do is, so I'm just going to give a little, all these things which I've done. Right now what I'm going to do is start my aura. Right, so again I do another aura. Excuse me. Excuse me, just give me a minute. So we just did an aura. I'm going to do the same aura out here. So we've done 1 2 3 aura, so let me do a 3 aura out here, and if space is there we may do one more aura. So I'm more comfortable, so I turn my tile, which is the best thing about the Zentangle. And if you see, this is a in a closer space, this is on a little further down, this is again, so they are not uniform. I am not done, this is on deliberate, I'm not done it on uniform. If you wanted to do uniform, you could have taken measurements or something like that and done it. I've just done a random spacing. So it's 1 2 3 and a 4, so it's 1 2 3 and a 4, right? So let's go to right? So again I turn, and because of the space, what I did, I placed it very close here. Right? So I'm going to do one more aura. Sorry. I've noticed my strokes go for a little thing when I become little conscious, and all my concentration is different. So now if you see that I have space between these places, I have space, so I'm going to do one more aura, which means an invite to another color. So like I said in the beginning of the session, depending how the flow happens, because I'll show you the same thing I've done as a practice, and you will see the strokes. And if you see the strokes are straight because I concentrated, I focused. So very important in Zentangle, which is what it is, when you're concentrating your art and you become so mindful, that gives you a complete amazing therapy. Right now that we have 1 2 3 4 spaces, 1 2 3 4 spaces, 1 2 3 4 spaces, and a 1 2 3 4 spaces. So what I will be doing it, I'm shifting my small circles to the last one, and this is going to be shaded. So I'm just going to draw small orbs, very small orbs inside. Right, I'm going to do here also. You can go in a rhythmic way, or how comfortable you are, you can do the and see, when I started here also, the orbs could be the right spacing. It was, as you practice, you get the placement and everything. Someone can translate what Creations has spoken in Spanish. I think it's Spanish, I'm not able to get it. If she's asking something, Valisiba, you are there, if you can just tell me what she said. If she's asking for some tip, if I'm missing on it. This looks more pretty, or even if you do it little more closer also. I just did that as a practice, but I don't have that sheet. It was not a final one, just a practice, just to see how it looks. That's it. Right? Now what I'm going to do is just going to take my brown pen, and I'm going to use the second one, the second line, and I'm just going to ink it up a little. I'm not going to ink it up fully. So not leaving it abrupt, so I'm just giving a slight stroke to give that a blended look. I will do it here. You can just see it what I meant. See, this is leaving it abrupt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just giving a slight stroke with my pen to give that a faded edge. Right, the same thing I'm going to do here. Same thing I'm going to repeat. So here it's going to be end. So obviously I'm going to do it here. Right, and it's on my edge. So I'm just giving a curved look. And just bringing it very slight. So the strokes have been very fainted strokes. I'm doing it very, very feather kind of a strokes. Right. Hola, Christina. So I'm just giving a very slight fainted strokes here. Right. Hi Shalini. Right, so we've done with this. Now once I finish the center part with a Kiko pattern, I will come back and give a little inking on the last part. So now we're going to do the Kiko. So the Kiko is going to be, now I'm going to draw line. I'm going to draw those grids. So it's going to be a little up. Right, and I'm going to draw the horizontal grids. So the grids are not to be seen, so I'm just bringing it a little closer because I've drawn it with pencil. So very light, see how light it is, that right, so that's how the light the grid has to be. Right, now we are done with it. So I'm just going to use my pen. So I'm going to do the curvy Kiko. So my grid line also will change. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do a conscious effect of keeping a 5 lines. So here we will assume that this line is coming there. So we'll just draw till whatever space you have it. Okay, and here we go. So I've done the space in this small gap as well as out here, right? So now it's always in the alternate. So now what is going to be? It's going to be sleeping now. So if you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it this particular row. So 1 2 3 4. So this ends here. So this is going to be a little curvy. It's this way, now it's going to be, right? Now we're going to do this. And I've done bigger grids. You can do a smaller grids. You can do a bigger grids. See, now you change this orientation, it will completely differ. So remember that if the orientation doesn't change, and this is an incomplete square, so that's why the number of lines is that short. Can you see this? I'm just giving a light curve, a bend. So, and they're not the same kind of a thing which is happening. So this is sleeping, standing, yeah, sleeping. So this is going to be standing. So I make myself obvious, and we just need to shade now. Thanks, Black Frida. So this is what it is going to be. Now I'm just going to give the border which was just giving the inking it up, our line string which we drew, and this was just a straight line. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another aura. So I'm going to keep this as my line, and I'm going to just draw a curved line from there, and I'll ensure that when I'm joining this, it goes and joins here. Here, because it's going behind. It's just a kind of a finish. This is, if you're feeling comfortable, do it. If you're not, you can just leave it. And it's not a perfect line. That's fine. That's how I've also done. Right, so now we will do the shading. So before we do the shading, so let's ink this outer aura little more inky. The last aura. This I love the way Maria does and Rick. In both they do it in their own style. I just give a little very little twist. And this is not the original. What I've done is a complete variation to the original pattern of MI2. Being perfect, being imperfectly perfect. That's what Maria says. Right, we have done inking, so we have left this particular one. So I'm just going to right now the drama happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this to the last. I'm going to just go ink it up, shade it up a little graphite. So I just put the graphite out here. So people who've joined in late, quite a few people who had joined in late. Today we were trying to do with two patterns. One is called as MI2, which is by a Mimi CZT. So this is the original. What I've done is a little variant here. This is the pearls which is in the orientation, which keeps changing in up and down. So then that's how you get to do it. So I've just used one string of it, and then I used a Zentangle headquarters pattern called Kiko, where I've done it with a curved and with a straight, and shown the different things which you can do with the shading and bring in. So these are the two patterns what we've done today, and I've done with that same thing out here. Just putting a little graphite only, and my graphites are not uniform or thing, just because the graphite which is there on your stub, that will take care of it also, and when you smoothen it up, it will taken care of it. So unless you are only going to be doing with your pencil strokes, then you need to have. So I'm just going to smoothen it by using the you see the fun which happens with the shading. You see what kind of shading it happened. Right, now we go to this, we go here, we're going to give it little graphite here, a little graphite here, and a little graphite out here, and a little graphite. All the junction points we're giving a little graphite. Right, and then we're using these stubs and we're just pulling it out with a circular motion. Thanks, Easy Tangle. And I've left graphite out here, which happens, so that's fine. So now what I will do is just because this is curved, right? So I'm just going to give a little graphite onto the curved part out here and for this particular place, and I just pull it up. Right, and we feel little empty, so the most friendly pattern Fescu comes off. This is to just show what I did before as a practice. And so how did you like the tile? So I just take my brown and I just give a little more a lift to it with very slight strokes. Right, maybe if you feel you want to just ink it up again because you've shaded it, you can go ahead and do that. Right. Yes, I save it. Now you will find it even in my YouTube channel, so you can get to see it on my YouTube channel. It will be there in my IGTV, and then it will be there in my YouTube channel also. So I'm just giving a little shading to this thing, which is just give an outer one. You want to do, you can do it. If not, you want to leave it, you can leave it. Or you can completely ink the corner ones to lift the artwork more. So yeah, I think my time is over. My dog is coming to indicate that your time is over. Can you wind up your session? I don't know how he smells it up. So there goes my chop to own it up. So that's more important, that we own it up, what we created. So the two different things done little differently, given a little different of shadings. And how did you like it? Do you like it? Leave a comment on my IGTV once I save it up. And thanks for people who have been continuously part of the 30 sessions. This is my 30th session. So this is going to be the last session for this month. So the next month is the most loved month for all the women, the Valentine month. So we will do something to do with the theme of Valentine. Let's see. So if you see here, I have done a little more of shading on my Kiko. Here I've done little less. I left it very light, but you can do it more heavy shading out here. And this has got a little more heavy shading because I love shading. So I end up playing with it. So if you would want to learn something more on shading and some tiles, to ping me on my Insta so we can plan one. Or you can join any of my advanced classes or the basics if you've not done it, which keeps coming on my feed on my Insta stories. Preciso, gracias. Mandela Tangle, gracias. So, Buena Vista for all the people from the Spain. Easy Tangle, I didn't understand. When are you to be online? I didn't understand. I'm online if you're talking about my Insta Live. My Insta Live is mostly on Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Thanks, Anjali. You know, all of us are talented. It's just that we just need to give that push to happen. So once we give that push to that happen, it'll automatically happen. So good to see you. So see you next Tuesday at 8. Today I just did because yesterday was a holiday for India. So I pushed it to today. Otherwise it's on a Tuesday 8 p.m. Right. So if you want to, you can watch it on my YouTube. So the same is saved on my YouTube channel also. And it's there in my Insta. So grateful to the art form and to you people. Don't forget to breathe. Each strokes with your breath gives amazing results. So create, watch, create, share your happiness and spread it across. Thank you. Ciao. See you next Tuesday. Unless people have something to ask, I can quickly answer and then wind up. I was a little late to start today. I'm sorry because I got held up because I was busy playing around with colors. So that was a new journal which I picked it up. So we crazy women, I mean the artists, not women, artists, have this habit of picking up stationaries. So this is one of my stationery which I just got to pick it up. So just playing around. So I got carried away with this. That's why I was a little late for the session today. Thanks, Elkie. Gracious. Thanks. See you. It's fantastica, right? Chalo, see you guys.